Around the world, the Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Our sponsor, Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw, with their expanded showroom and expanded product lines, too. Stop in and take a look for yourself. On this Wednesday, we will keep you up to date on weather notices. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for our area, and there is also a tornado watch for parts of this area, including Midland and Bay counties. So we will keep you up to date on that. We'll have open phones later on, but we're going to start this hour by talking to attorney Ven Johnson. He's involved in some lawsuits involving the Oxford shooting, and we thought we'd get an update from Attorney Johnson this morning. Ven, good morning to you.
How are you, Art?
I'm doing well. Hope you are. Except for
Thank you, sir.
Except for the weather. It's going to be
it's a little crazy.
A lot crazy. Yeah. Yeah, you got that right. It's actually going to be in the 70s today with all this nasty weather outside. So recently there was, I don't know what else to call it, a rejection of the ability for you to sue the school district. Do I have that in general terms? Is that about what happened?
Exactly. What happened is Judge Brennan in Oakland County Circuit Court in Pontiac, she dismissed our lawsuit against the Oxford Community School, the district itself, as well as a number of the folks who we believe bear some responsibility for ignoring just gross signs of Ethan Crumley's drawings of dead people and guns and looking at bullets and guns on his phone and all sorts of craziness. And so that was based on what we call governmental immunity. You can't sue the man unless the man says you can.
So, I guess the obvious question is, where do you go from here? Are there other avenues to approach?
Well, great question. We do have a lawsuit that's pending in federal court down here in Detroit, but that's based, Art, solely on federal law claims. So as it relates to state of Michigan claims, we're going to be filing an appeal with the Michigan Court of Appeals in the foreseeable future, and we're going to take on right head on governmental immunity, and in essence saying it's not fair under the law to give people special privileges and special rights that other people don't have simply because they work for the government. And that's exactly what's been going on here in Michigan since the early 80s.
The governmental protection was established to avoid political consequences, if I remember right. These things are established so that people can't sue the government every time they don't like a decision, but it carries over into other things, doesn't it?
It does, Art. And yeah, I'm not going to address what they were trying to design. All I can tell you is since the mid 80s, all the way till now, what's been happening is the courts have been narrowly construing. Those are big lawyer terms for, but screwing people out of their day in court. That's what in essence happens. The government doesn't want you to sue them, doesn't want you to hold them accountable, simply because they're your government and they don't want to have to pay for it. So where our position is in the area of tort law, where somebody hurts you, it doesn't matter who they work for, right? They should be held accountable like anybody else. And you don't get special privileges. You don't get the special appellate rights. You don't get all the things that they currently get under Michigan law simply because you work for the government. It's wrong.
And correct me if I'm wrong about this, Ven, but if you wanted to sue, for example, the state of Michigan about something, there's a court set up for that, right? The Court of Claims is where you'd go.
Court of Claims, right.
But it has nothing to do with this.
Well, you could argue that it does.
Oh.
In essence, they have special rules as well. And again, if you want to sue the state, you you can only sue them under certain circumstances. And again, that's what's kind of crazy. And I know people don't know about governmental immunity, and that's one of the silver linings, if you will, of such a horrible tragedy in Oxford, is people are finally now starting to pay attention. Anywhere I go all over the state, Art, and say, Johnson, what do you mean you can't sue the government if they hurt you? And then we have this discussion that's been long overdue. So what I'm hoping is that the Michigan legislature picks this up and repeals it or throws it out, or at the very, very least makes some dramatic changes so that it's not virtually impossible for them to be held accountable if, and this is the if, right? I have to prove it in court. And that's a jury's call. Shouldn't just be a judge throwing cases out of court without going to trial.
Then what's the reality of the legislature doing that?
Well, I would think that it should be pretty good, Art. As you know, we have a Democratic, two Democratic houses, and Democrats claim that they're there for people, and they're trying to treat everybody equally and fairly. And so if it's truly the credo, then that's exactly what this is about. You can't get special privileges inside a courtroom simply because of who you work for. What if they passed a bill like they did in Florida recently, making it virtually impossible for somebody to hold a corporation, Art, liable or responsible for being injured? What difference does it make where you work?
Yeah,
it should always be the same. Treat everybody equally under the law. That's what it should be. But under governmental immunity, that's not the case.
So I want to separate something here for a minute. I understand the part about you can't sue the school district. It's a governmental entity.
Right.
But you also mentioned you can't sue the individuals on an individual basis simply because they work for the school. Is that right?
Great questions. I did sue them. I can, but the standard is so high, Art. So in a regular case, all I have to do is prove ordinary, what we call negligence, right? Somebody did or didn't do something they should have done. If I'm suing a governmental employee, I have to prove gross negligence. So it's a higher burden of proof on me. And under the law, I have to prove that they were the THE proximate cause. That, in other words, that their gross negligence was and the way that courts have been interpreting that here is basically you got to be the largest or most immediate effect. And what happens is in these cases, judges will start weighing all that, which is what juries normally do. What we're really fighting about here is we should have our day in court. Let the jury figure this out. They do that every day. But instead, when normally you'd have to prove a proximate cause, and that's pretty easy to prove, that there was a relationship between somebody did something wrong and my injuries. So what had happened is the government just really increased the burden, Art. And again, why did they do that? Because they don't want to be sued. They don't want to be held accountable. Well, that's fine. I don't blame them for not wanting to. But what's right and what's fair under the law is something entirely different. Everybody should be treated the same, even government and government employees.
So where do you go from here? Appeals court?
Michigan Court of Appeals, and without any question, Art, after that, whoever wins and loses there, the Michigan Supreme Court is where this is headed.
How long would you guess?
Sadly, right? It's going to be about a year to year and a half. Hey, Art, as you know, in the Midland flood cases, I'm up in the Court of Appeals again. We're going. I hope to be on your show and on the 3rd year anniversary. And what am I going to be able to tell you? But we're on appeal for the 2nd time in 3 years.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I got to take a break here, but I want to come back and talk about that a little bit, Ven. Hang on.
I'd be happy to. But to answer your question, we're looking at 3 to 4 years, Art.
Wow. All right, we're talking to attorney Ven Johnson, and we will be back with more with Ven in just a couple of moments here on the Art Lewis Show. Let me talk for a moment about 401ks. They can be an important asset for many American retirements. You made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years, even decades. Its tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs, but its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers. The little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and lots more. Request your guide today by calling 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
Honey, come here, quick.
What is it?
Shh, check it out. All these highly rated wines are under $20. Total Wine must have made a mistake.
Nope, they always have the lowest prices. Oh, remember that amazing rosé your sister brought over last week? See, it's right here.
Whoa, that's a low price. I mean, whoa, that's a low price.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. B21.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. A partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Hiring by private employers held up last month, but not at the levels economists were predicting. Payroll processing company ADP's survey says 145,000 new jobs were created in March. Leisure and hospitality led hiring with 98,000 new positions. The trade deficit widened more than expected in February. Loretta Mester, president of the Cleveland Fed, is predicting the Fed will need to keep raising interest rates. She says the U.S. banking system is sound and resilient, and there are signs recent bank problems have been contained. FedEx is restructuring, merging its express and ground delivery businesses. The change is in response to the surge in e-commerce business. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
A good work partner knows what you need before you need it. That's how it feels when you work with Cintas. Your dedicated Cintas service reps get to know your business and have the industry knowledge that can help you prepare for what's ahead. They'll deliver your team's workwear freshly laundered. Make sure your first aid and safety supplies, mats, mops, and towels are stocked when you need them. And your fire extinguishers are inspected and in working order. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
It's time to play WSGW's Baseball Bucks, presented by Westside Decorating Center. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering this baseball word online at WSGW.com. The word this hour is Cubs, CUBS, as in Chicago Cubs. It's an Alpha Media company-wide contest. Must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Baseball Bucks presented by Westside Decorating Center on WSGW. And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, talking to attorney Ven Johnson. We talked about the Oxford school situation and the fact that he can no longer, at least right now anyway, sue the school district or its employees. What kind of obstacles did you run into with the dam situation and the flooding here? Because you said you're going to appeals with them too.
Right, Art. Sadly, this is interconnected with what we just talked about, governmental immunity. So when the state passes a law that says you can't sue the state government unless we say you can, then part of the problem that we have in the Midland flood cases is that the government is claiming that we are blaming them for negligence and that there's some type of a tort or like a personal injury, when we're not. Our actual case is called inverse condemnation. Translation, the government can't take property from you without reasonably compensating you for it. In other words, they screwed up when they were overseeing the dam and didn't do enough, knowing full well that it was going to break and hurt everybody. So they're now appealing for the second time, Art, in 2 years. They're appealing, saying, "Look at Michigan Court of Appeals. Plaintiffs here, they're calling this an inverse condemnation case that's under the Michigan Constitution. It's really not. It's a tort case, and we're the government, so they can't sue us. It's not even a close call, and we're going to win that, I think, again on appeal. But this is the second time they've done it, and the reason why they do it, Art, is because of the specially created rules that help the government to do this under governmental immunity. So again, they're getting special privileges simply because they're the government, when instead they're the folks that should be serving the people, not trying to.
This is different than the Oxford situation, because in the Oxford situation, you're taking it to the appeals court. Here, the state is going to the appeals court now for the second time.
Right. Because the trial judge in each occasion agreed with us and said, no, this isn't a governmental immunity situation, state of Michigan. This is something different. And state of Michigan refuses to accept that. So yet we're still stuck. And therefore, when it's on stay, when you're on appeal, it's called stay. And that means you can't do anything on the case. Very frustrating, as I know, you know, to the people of that whole area that have had their property just completely decimated and with no justice yet whatsoever coming for them. So, yeah, it's been a long, drawn-out battle, but, you know, we're going to keep at it, Art. I know you know that's what we do for us folks from Saginaw, right, Art? We're going to keep on fighting, and we're going to get them.
And, you know, is there a date certain to be heard by the appeals panel or not?
Not as of right now. There's no hearing date yet that I'm aware of. We do expect it to be heard sometime in the call it late spring, early summer. So that's hopeful. And then usually takes a few months for there to be some kind of a decision. But at the same time, yeah, it's just, again, on behalf of all of our clients, very frustrating for them, and I don't blame them.
And my dad, who was a lawyer, told me a long time ago, and it appears to be quite certain right now, the wheels of justice move very slowly, don't they?
Yeah, they certainly can. It doesn't have to. But when your own government is absolutely filing appeal after appeal simply to kick the can down the road and not have to pay and be responsible, yeah, it's really frustrating. I hear you, Art.
Do you expect it'll end up in the Supreme Court?
Absolutely. No question. Maybe not right now, but I think what's going to happen is we're going to win like we did last time in the Court of Appeals. It'll be sent back to the Court of Claims, which you just asked about a few minutes ago. Judge Doug Shapiro is our new judge on that. And hopefully we'll get busy doing depositions and so forth so we can get into the nitty gritty and really start proving what it is the state did wrong. And we haven't even gotten there yet.
So, I mean, this almost sounds like a ping pong match. And let me explain that. If the appeals court sends it back to the judge, he rules in your favor again. So now does the state go back to the appeals court for a third time, or do they have to go to the Supremes?
Nope. Next time they can do the same thing. They can go back again.
Can do it forever.
This is my point. And that's what they're doing on purpose, Art. It's a delay tactic. Because why? They don't want to have to pay the potentially hundreds of millions of dollars of claims that all these people up there. And I know I just went over the bridge, recently right up on M10, right? And it looks basically the same. So yeah, these people have been absolutely just forgotten for years. But we haven't forgotten them. We're still fighting for it. But sadly, it takes a long time, which it shouldn't because of governmental immunity.
And part of the problem is that's where the money is in the state, right? Because the damn owners had nothing. So if you're going to go after funds, you almost have to go after the state, don't you?
Well, there's no question. And I might add the dam owners have already filed for bankruptcy, and they've benefited from, kind of washing their hands in the bankruptcy court. So yeah, we have some claims obviously against the state, which we think are significant. And we also have some cases against FERC, which is the federal agency that bailed first on these dam owners because they wouldn't listen to FERC, and then it became the state of Michigan's problem, who did even more of nothing. So
is it easier in federal court than it is in the state courts?
No, sir. There's a similar thing of federal. They call it sovereign immunity, qualified immunity. It's another variation of governmental immunity that you fight there. So yeah, there's no question these are tough cases, but like I said, I know you and I've been talking for a long time. We ain't giving up. We're going to keep chasing these guys.
All right. Well, Ven, look, first, I always appreciate your time. I know you're busy.
Thank you, sir.
Is there a information source like a website where somebody can follow along on these cases with you?
Well, absolutely. My website is venfights.com or www.venjohnsonlaw.com, either one. And we always highlight and give updates on our major cases like the two that we were talking about here today. So we would be happy to.
All right, my friend, have a safe day, and we will talk to you, I'm sure, down the road.
I appreciate it, Art. Have a great day, sir.
Ven, thank you. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Attorney
Ven Johnson updating us on a couple of cases they're involved in. And, I think these interviews are important. I'll tell you why, because I don't think the majority of people who in their lives probably never come in contact with a court system or a lawsuit have any idea how the system works and how it sometimes doesn't work. And I think it's important to hear these things so everybody understands what happens and when it happens and why it happens. All right, we're going to have open phones for the remainder of the hour and into the next. 989-752-6111. That's the number to call. Whatever you'd like to chat about, we'd love to chat with you. I want to chat about my car dealer, my Ford car dealer, McDonald Ford. Known the family for decades, and now the owners of McDonald Ford, Tom McDonald Jr. and Tom McDonald III, father and son ownership, are right there in Freeland on M47 with not only Fords, but an extensive lineup of other brands in their pre-owned lot, late models. You'll find Chevys and Cadillacs and Jeeps and Lincolns and others. It's a revolving stock because it changes all the time. They've all been through Ford's extensive 100-point inspection at McDonald Ford. So when you drive away with that pre-owned vehicle, you drive away in confidence. Now, if you should have a problem, they have a great service department that can handle everything from minor to major repairs. If you just want an oil change, you can go over to the Quick Lane Center. If you have body work you need, you can go to the Drive Collision Center. It's all there waiting for you at 6790 Midland Road in Freeland. McDonald Ford, where the staff treats you like family because it is a family business. 6790 Midland Road in Freeland, McDonald Ford, the McDonald family devoted to helping and serving you.
This is Rachel from the SVRC Marketplace, located at 203 South Washington, right on Riverfront, Saginaw. Open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Spring has sprung. Come support our all-year-round vendors, like Creole Queen serving her delicious gumbo, or Murner serving her cornbread chili. Have you tried Valerie B's yet with her delicious cream cupcakes? We thank you for the continued support of our small businesses. Remember to shop local, eat local, support small business, and we will see you at the market. This is Rachel from the boardroom, located inside the SVRC Marketplace, open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., offering daily lunch specials, full bar, everyday happy hour with over 20 Michigan and local brews and the best burgers on Riverfront. Join us for our Wine and Dine on Riverfront ticketed event, April 17th. Did you know we offer food and alcohol catering for all types of events, even off-site? Contact us at 989-751-0133 for more information. Get on board and support small.
Who sells your soybeans overseas, increasing sales to Egypt, India, and many other emerging markets? Who has made you the #1 protein source in chicken feed? Who has made the next big breakthrough to boost your soybean yield? The answer to all of these questions is you. That's right, you do, through Your Soy Checkoff. By pooling your resources through Your Soy Checkoff, you are promoting your soybeans to new markets. You are discovering new practices and seed varieties to overcome your biggest challenges in the field. You have even turned $2 million of infrastructure research into $460 million per year in extra income for all soybean farmers. There is power in numbers, and you and your fellow soybean farmers are proving it by bringing tangible returns back to you and your operations through Your Soy Checkoff. You can see all the ways Your Soy Checkoff is moving soy forward for you at unitedsoybean.org. That's unitedsoybean.org. It's all about you doing things together as Your Soy Checkoff.
Looking for savings while filling up at the pump? Look no further than Fuel Rewards at one of our 26 local Forward Shell convenience stores. Get at least 5 cents off a gallon every time you fill up and earn an additional 10, 20, and even 30 cents off a gallon with in-store purchases on your favorite snacks and drinks. 2 for $3 king-size Hershey bars available at the front counter. Visit FuelRewards.com to sign up and learn more. Fuel Rewards at your local Forward Shell convenience stores, a family-owned Michigan tradition since 1925.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
The WSW online poll for you is about American values with that recent Wall Street Journal NOC survey, comparing responses from 25 years ago, finding when it comes to the questions of patriotism, religion, and raising children, the responses percentage-wise are down compared to 25 years ago. Patriotism, 25 years ago, 70% very important, now 38%. The importance of religion, 62% then, 39% now. And raising children, 59% then, now it's 30%.
Well, those are some significant drops there.
By contrast, having money was the only value that was up from 25 years ago. So the WSW poll question for you, what is your view regarding American values of patriotism, religion, and raising children? You can vote, I think these values are very important. I don't think these values are very important. You can vote, you think that the having money value is more important, or you're not sure. You head to WSW.com, you scroll down the homepage, you will find a poll box, and you can make your vote that way with WSGW.
Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios. This is WSGW.
All right, we're back with you. Let me update you on the weather situation right now. We had a thunderstorm warning in effect until 9:30, so that has expired for Bay, Midland, and Saginaw counties. However, there is a tornado watch in effect. If you think of Saginaw Bay, Midland as the northern end of the watch zone, our region and everything south of here is under a tornado watch until 4 p.m. this afternoon. So again, we have a tornado watch for everything south of us and us until 4 p.m. this afternoon, triggered by a cold front moving through. Although it's going to be, it's funny to say a cold front moving through, but temperatures are predicted to be in the 70s today, believe it or not. And it's this dichotomy of temperature that is stirring all of this stuff up. So just be aware that it's what's happening. Also, I know in Saginaw County, they will not be doing their monthly siren test so that they don't confuse anyone while we're under a tornado watch by blowing off the sirens on a test and everybody wondering what's happening. So if you hear sirens tonight or later today, it's for real. It's not because they're testing them. Hats off to them for that too. I mean, that's smart. Very, very smart. Also, we have someone to chat with this morning, and we're going to talk about a book. And the book is As Long as I Know You, the Mom Book. And its author is Anne-Marie Ooman. And Anne-Marie is with us this morning. Anne-Marie, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. You've authored other books aside from this one, but let's talk about this. It's subbed The Story of One Daughter's Journey to Her Mother's Heart. Tell us what that's all about.
Well, I know many people will identify with this. You can be raised in a truly loving family. You can be raised with good people, and I was raised on a farm on the western Michigan near Muskegon, between Muskegon and Ludington. And you can be raised in that kind of family and still have difficult relationships. And I had a really difficult relationship with my mother. And we were not always friends. As adults, we were civil, but we weren't close. And we had a tough youth with my youth. And so when my father passed away, what happened so many times with those older couples is that we realize that there's a veil pulled back, and you realize the frailty of one of the parents, and one parent has been covering another person's, in this case, early stage dementia. And so we realized that, and through the process of stepping up and figuring out how to provide for her care, I had to become a better daughter, and I had to find her, and she had to find me. And so it's the story of how we came to each other even as I am losing her. So there's a sadness there, but there's also a wonderful joy in that process of, after so many years of a volatile relationship, finding out who we are to each other. So that's the gist of it.
Anne-Marie, is this a memoir written in fiction form, or is it strictly a narrative?
I see. That's a good question. It's called creative nonfiction. It is a memoir. So I am using some strategies of fiction, dialogue and description. So some strategies that you'd encounter if you were reading a novel. But the story is true. And I was, as my mother was going through this, I knew I was going to lose her. And so I was taking notes constantly. And so I had a lot of really accurate material. I've written several other books where I've had to rely on memory and photographs and research and some invention. But in this one, I'm pretty close to the facts on almost everything. And so it's a real story. Yeah. Thanks for asking that.
Most of your books memoirs? Are you a memoirist?
Most of them, I'm an essayist and mostly nonfiction. I also have a couple of poetry books, but I have 3 memoirs about growing up in rural life. And I think if I were to claim a brand, if that's possible, it would be that I write about rural life and the rurality, particularly of Michigan's culture. And, what it's like to be out in those fields. And, well, here in Saginaw, you look around and it's this fertile land. Yep. And So it's trying to honor and celebrate that a little bit.
All right, Anne-Marie, hang on. I've got to take a break. We're talking to Anne-Marie Ooman. Her book is As Long as I Know You, put out by the University of Georgia Press. We'll talk more about that when we return here on the Art Lewis Show, where it's 9:46.
It's time to celebrate. Jesus Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. I'm Pastor Eric Schmidt of Peace Lutheran Ministries, and I want to personally invite you to celebrate Easter with us on Saturday, April 8th at 6:30 p.m. at Peace Lutheran School, 3161 Mondale Road in Saginaw Township, or on Easter Sunday, April 9th at any one of our 3 services, 6:30, 9:30, or 11:15 a.m. at Peace Lutheran Church, 3427 Adams Avenue in Saginaw. Join us in person or online at peacesaginaw.org. From all of us at Peace, we wish you a very happy Easter.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is from Applied Training Solutions. You are going to get half off of a CPL class. It's normally $150, but you're getting this deal for just $75. A CPL class is necessary for anyone looking for the proper certification to apply for a concealed pistol license in the state of Michigan. And you must be 21 or older. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
I thought learning a language would be too much work. Then I discovered Babbel. They make learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes, quick and easy. And soon you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
My friend from Italy said my accent and pronunciation is perfect. It's because Babbel's lessons are designed by language teachers and voiced by real native speakers. Each lesson is like living in another country for 15 minutes.
I love that there's all kinds of ways to learn. Babbel's podcast or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
You learn words and phrases you actually use in real conversations.
In 3 weeks, I was starting to speak in another language. So easy.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you could wave a wand and change one thing about your house, what would it be?
Hold that thought, but forget the wand. Home improvement isn't magic.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer, we can show you the tricks of the trade for remodeling and repair.
And how to not get fooled when you're choosing and directing a contractor. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Phone in your fix-up questions here this weekend.
On the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
The Money Pit, Saturday mornings at 9 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. We are talking to award-winning author Anne-Marie Ooman, not only nonfiction author in her book As Long as I Know You, the Mom book. She also writes fiction. She's written 7 plays. She writes poetry. She is an instructor of poetry and nonfiction at Solstice Master of Fine Arts at LaSalle University and Interlochen College of Creative Arts. What got you into writing? It seems to me you'll write anything, anywhere, anytime.
Well, I do enjoy it immensely, but, I didn't grow up in a household that had a lot of books. We had Grimm's and Anderson's fairy tales, and we had the Bible. And those stories, even though I didn't always understand the language, I understood the narrative, and that drew me. And I enjoyed scribbling. You know, I just one of those kids who liked to scribble. And I remember I wrote a little description of a sunset, and I took it out to my mother, and she's at, you know, old farm style well pits, you know, where you have the faucet outside, and she's working hard as she did. And I'm trying to show her this, and she read it and she said, "You like to do this?" And she's like startled, and I'm startled. And it was like, that was the very beginning. But so I became a teacher, and I was enjoying that. But where it really started, I'm a late bloomer. And to those who like to write, I want to assure you that it's never too late to write. And I was in my 30s, and my first marriage failed. And it's a time when you assess everything, you rethink everything. And I thought, what do I really want to do here? What do I want to do in my life? And the answer was that writing gave me both great pleasure and also seemed to me a way to communicate with the world and to be with people in an artistic way. And that was important to me. So I began very slowly to take classes and go to conferences and look for mentors who could help me with that. And then one thing led to another. My first book didn't come out until my early 50s. And so that story is, you know, as I said, of a late bloomer, and it's never too late. So, yeah.
The book, As Long as I Know You, because of the dementia involved with Mom, is this a book that caretakers could gain insight from?
Oh, Art, yes. This is such this is, and that has been a consistent response to the book, that caregivers, people who are facing these situations with their families, who are frustrated or hurt or just plain worried, that this is a book that they feel kindred with. And I'm so pleased when I hear that. So yes, you're absolutely right. Caregivers, people in social work, family members who are beginning to take this on, that extra responsibility. It's especially important, I think, for people who are sandwiched, the younger generations and the older between, which is such a extra responsibility in life. And yet, what do? You have to step up. And that's what our family was facing also.
It's interesting. I lost my wife in January. And I've been thinking about the things that, the memories, that I would think about putting down on paper. But to me, it would seem doing so would be such an emotional roller coaster. Is it, when you wrote this book, is it an emotional roller coaster for you?
Yes, that's really, it is an emotional roller coaster. And it is also incredibly healing. Because by putting it down, I went through the process again. I looked at those memories. I looked at the wonderful things, the hard things, and examined them and rediscovered or reestablished their meaning and their intention. And through that, I felt like I was doing some healing. And I was also trying, writers talk about trying to do book good. And that was my real goal, was to do some book good. Mm-hmm. And I think by offering that model, I hope you always just hope that the book good will be that other people will think about it as a way of working through their pain.
Yes. There's something else I can get out of this. And it's unfortunate for me because 56 years of marriage, and I didn't take any notes. I didn't write things down. And now to go back and try and reimagine them, if you will, is difficult. I mean, it's a difficult process, to say the least. And it comes, I don't know if it was for you, but it comes in waves. There are times when that's all I think about, and other times where I don't think about it.
Oh, absolutely. I so identify with that. And there are times when that's all you can do is think about it. But then there are those moments, and I think often it's triggered by photographs or little stories that other people will say where they say, oh, I remember your mother or your father or your wife did, when they did this. And it comes washing back.
Yep.
And that's when I'm inclined to grab the pen or try to hold that memory a little closer until I can get to some pen and paper and say, here, I want to capture this. I want to hold this in a way that will then turn back and nurture my soul. Yeah.
Where is the book available, As Long as I Know You?
Almost all the bookstores are carrying it right now. You can ask for it, As Long as I Know You, at University of Georgia Press. And the bookstores, you can order it from University of Georgia Press. You can also order it from Amazon, and it's readily available.
And do you have a website?
I do. www. Anne-Marie Ooman. Anne-Marie has a hyphen, and there's no space between Marie and Ooman. So
and
it's
Ooman is double O.
Double O, indeed. Yes.
You ever going to be in the area?
Well, I'm in the area right now. I'm a scholar in residence at Saginaw Valley, and I have a reading on Thursday night at the Kanzler Community Room on campus. And I will be reading from As Long as I Know You and talking about that journey. So if there are people who are out there who Thursday night have an interest, I would welcome their company.
Very good. Anne-Marie, listen, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Art. I really appreciate
something from it. So it's a positive.
Well, and I'm so sorry about your wife.
Well, I appreciate it.
And I would say if you have time to jot those things down, think of it as legacy writing for your family.
Excellent. Anne-Marie, thanks for taking the time to be with us this morning. We appreciate it.
And thank you for having me.
You bet. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Anne-Marie Ooman, and we thank her for joining us here on WSGW. Back to close out the hour.
Hemlock Public School District continues to be a leader in innovation, recognized as one of the premier school districts in the state. This vibrant school community offers engagement in extracurricular activities from sports, drama, fine arts, robotics, sports, and more. Hemlock Public Schools is a leader in innovation, collaboration, and education with programs from the cradle to early middle college and more. Call us today at 989-642-5282. That's 642-5282 or hemlockps.com. Hemlock Public Schools, excellence in education. Enroll today. When you choose Garber for your next vehicle, you're also supporting great organizations like the Mid-Michigan Children's Museum. And since Garber gives you their low price guarantee, this never costs you a penny more. Museum President and CEO Ann Doyle, the support from Garber to make things better goes beyond financial though, right?
They have been so instrumental. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are because we're in the old Garber building. Garber also has 2 of their staff members on our board. Then they have another staff member who does our IT. And then we use different people in the organization for different things as we need help with. So Garber has been our biggest advocate and just a huge help to the museum.
And how about an invitation to everyone who wants to make things better for our kids in this community?
We have a big birthday party in June on the 10th, and it's our 15th birthday party. So we're hoping the community will come and help us celebrate it.
Everybody knows you'll do better at Garber.
Mark your calendars for Our Kids World, Saturday, April 8th at the Fashion Square Mall from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. Sponsored by Francis Ray Academy and powered by Sarah Automotive. Free admission, Easter egg hunt, pictures with the Easter Bunny brought to you by the Exchange Clubs of Saginaw, and so much more. Plus, bounce out that energy in the kids zone with bounce houses provided by Bouncing Bellas. If your business would like to be involved, call 989-752-3456. Our Kids World, Saturday, April 8th, 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. at Fashion Square Mall. Sponsored by Francis Ray Academy.
All right, that's going to do it for this hour. Next hour will be fully open, so you can give us a call right after the news. That's coming up from CBS, the National and International Report. Michael Perch is in the WSGW newsroom to bring you up to date on the region and the state. We'll be back.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Monica Ricks in New York. Missouri Highway Patrol has confirmed a tornado touched down early this morning in Bullinger County near Jackson, killing multiple people. There's also widespread damage there. KFVS reporter Jeffrey Bullard.
I did have a chance to speak to one of the families who felt the blast of the tornado come through. All they heard and felt was wind. They got inside their bathtub. The girl's boyfriend then got a mattress on top of them, and the next thing you know, they're coming out of their house, and she says all they see is debris.
Former President Trump is now calling for Republicans to defund the Justice Department and the FBI until they come to their senses. He posted that to Truth Social this morning, but it's a similar message he delivered to supporters last night in Florida following his arraignment in New York. Trump's lawyer, Joe Tacopina, also defended him on CBS Mornings.
There's been no violation of FEC laws, so I don't know what crimes we're talking about exactly, John.
But is falsifying business records, just as a matter of course, is not a legal thing to do? And you're saying there was no business records of any kind, whether it's taxes or otherwise, nothing was falsified ever at all?
Not only was nothing falsified, but nothing was filed.
Trump's trial could happen in January. More clashes in Jerusalem, where at least 14 Palestinians have been injured and hundreds arrested in an Israeli police raid on a mosque. CBS's Charlie D'Agata has details.
It triggered a retaliation from Palestinian Hamas militants in Gaza. Footage showed a number of incoming rockets intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome defense system. The Israeli Air Force responded with airstrikes on Hamas military sites.
Here at home, another state's passed legislation focused on transgender people. CBS's Jim Kursula.
A measure that would block transgender people from using public bathrooms associated with their gender identities has cleared the Republican-controlled legislature in Kansas. 7 other states have enacted laws banning transgender students from using school bathrooms and locker rooms associated with their gender identities.
New baseball rules seem to be working. CBS's Steve Kathan says a 9-inning game last night finished in less than 2 hours.
The Marlins and Twins in a game without much offense.
Birdie's got it, steps on the bag, throws to first, a double play.
The 1-0 Marlins win in Miami, a game that took just an hour, 57 minutes to play, shortest of the season so far.
That's thanks to a new pitch clock that's cutting down those game times. This is CBS News.
Hire with minimal effort and maximum success with Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Guys, fellas, men, are you Roman ready for the weekend? Right now, generic Viagra, aka Sildenafil, is just $4 per dose at Roman. Just complete a free online visit with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. If medication is appropriate, Roman sends what you need in discreet packaging with 2-day shipping. Generic Viagra from $4 at Roman. Go to ro.co/bed. Do it today and get 20% off your entire first order. That's ro.co/bed.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM. A rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies, rain, and 57 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. A soldier from Bay City was killed in a shooting in Colorado Springs, March 26th. 23-year-old U.S. Army Specialist Braden Peltier, who was stationed at Fort Carson, was shot and killed by an unknown assailant. The second victim was also shot and is being treated at a hospital. Peltier enlisted in the Army in 2020. According to the website Stars and Stripes, Peltier recently returned to the U.S. from deployment in Poland. He was married to Paige Peltier and had a son, 2-year-old Casey. Colorado Springs police continue to search for a suspect in the shooting. Pikes Peak Crime Stoppers is offering a $1,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. Mount Pleasant Fire and state police are investigating what caused a house fire in Mount Pleasant on Sunday and then a fire in the shed behind the house the next day. No one was injured, and the fires were reportedly quickly put out. Anyone with information should call the state police post in Mount Pleasant. Feet on the Street is returning to Bay City this summer. WSGW's Jonathan Dent reports.
During Monday evening City Commission meeting, a proposal by Mayor Kathleen Newsham was approved to close sections of 3rd, Center, and Saginaw streets between Memorial Day weekend and Labor Day. The closures are a continuation of the Feet on the Street event, which started during the COVID pandemic as a way for businesses in those areas to accommodate outdoor shopping, dining, and entertainment. Mayor Newsham says the event brings crowds of visitors and locals each year. Midland Street will not be included in the closures and will instead be closing only on weekends this summer. Feet on the Street closures will take place between Memorial Day and Labor Day every year through 2028. Jonathan Dent, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
WSGW News Time 10:07.
Liberty Bridge is your gateway to work, school, downtown, and the Midland Street Business District. Enjoy all the benefits of Liberty Bridge for free until April. Save time and fuel by taking the most convenient route to your destination. Avoid congestion at other local bridges and experience Bay City's newest, most reliable bridge. Brought to you by local union workers and Bay City Bridge Partners. For your passport to the lowest rates once tolling begins, get your BC Pass before April at baycitybridgepartners.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
WSGW News Time 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Governor Gretchen Whitmer will be in Metro Detroit today to officially repeal the state's 1931 abortion ban. Her signature comes after the State House and Senate voted to repeal the ban. In September, a court also ruled the 1931 law unconstitutional shortly after Roe v. Wade was overturned. Whitmer will be in Birmingham to sign the bill. Michigan voters enshrined abortion rights in the state constitution in November, passing Proposal 3 with a 56% majority. The results of a recent survey indicate Americans will be spending less this Easter than they have in recent years. Michigan News Network's Tony Ortiz has this.
According to the Wallet Hub survey, 69% of Americans have made the decision to spend less this Easter. That reduced spending will impact two key areas: food and charitable donations. As for food, more than half of respondents plan to cut just how much they'll spend on Easter dinner, preferring to get a smaller ham or other cut of meat, and to, in some instances, reduce or even cut out desserts altogether. Meanwhile, 28% of those who were surveyed confirmed that they'll donate less to a charity or to their church this Easter. Last year, the app Givelify, which is used for online donations to churches and nonprofit organizations, reported that people donated $10.2 million for Easter, which was a 12% improvement from what was donated in 2021. I'm Tony Ortiz for the Michigan News Network.
A last call for those accused of unemployment fraud. In 2015, a lawsuit was filed on behalf of thousands of Michiganders who had their paychecks seized and income tax refunds taken when an automated system mistakenly flagged their accounts and took action. Today is the deadline for those eligible to join the proposed class action settlement of $20 million. Claimants are required to submit a completed registration form by today, then submit a claim form by April 14th, both available online. WSGW News Time 10:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms here for today with cloudy sky conditions and a high into the mid-70s. Breezy southwest winds around 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting as high as 35. Then for tonight, a chance for showers and storms early on, decreasing clouds and a low near 36. Thursday, mostly sunny and breezy, high of 50 degrees. Then by Friday, mostly sunny and a high of 49. Saturday, plenty of blue skies and sun, high around 52. Sunday, sunshine and a high of 63. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 47.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Westside Decorating Center at 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Beautiful, beautiful expanded showroom with all kinds of new products, including countertops. Everything you need for home decorating at Westside Decorating Center. Open phones this hour, 989-752-6111. Before we get to those, though, just some weather information for you. Aranac County, there is a flood watch until 8 p.m. tonight. Genesee County, there is a flood warning until 8 p.m. tonight. There are other weather statements affecting counties to the south of us. We are under a tornado watch, as is the entire southern half of the Lower Peninsula, until 4 o'clock today. All right. So we'll keep you up to date on those as they become available, and they are continually updated by the National Weather Service. But in the meantime, as I said, open phones today, so let's get to it this morning. And Joe is in Saginaw. Joe, good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning to you. You know, Art, talking about writing a sort of a history of your life, you know, you having been in the communication business all your life are very fortunate, because I'm sure that much of your activity is already recorded.
Yeah, well, professionally, yes.
And
privately, no.
Well, but I mean, I think it's a matter of gathering some of this material, and 2 or 3 people of my greater family have written, you know, sort of histories of the family. And of course, when I was a kid, you know, our grandparents lived with us, and so.
Oh, wow.
So, but at any rate, I think basically what my family members and some other folks have told me was the trick is to, you can't sit down and write a book, you know, but if you can sit down and write up pieces of your history, you know, because like I say, you can't just sit down and and write a whole book.
Well, you know,
or at least I haven't found anybody that could.
It's interesting you bring that up. I had a conversation the other day with Terry Duperrin from Duperrin Corporation. Who's,
Duperrin.
You know him. He's just a wonderful man and a tremendous inventor. He's also dyslexic. He doesn't read well.
Yes. Well,
and
actually,
he wrote a book, but he had help. He had a ghostwriter with him.
Yeah.
And he gave me a copy of the book, and he says, I want you to read this, and then I want you to write your own.
Well, it's interesting because his daughter is married to a cousin of mine.
Oh, is that right? Oh, that's very good. Well, you know, first of all, I'm a person of the spoken word, not the written word. And I have to be honest, I don't like to write. I write when I have to, but it's not something I'm fond of, to be honest. I would have to have somebody with me. There's no way I could sit down and do it. It's not in my genes, I guess.
You know, that's probably perfectly illegitimate. You know, if you can sit down with somebody and discuss a certain period of your life, and you know, if they can just take notes and you know, just whip up a, you know, go through and textualize that period, and then when you've got you know, a couple dozen of those things, you can sit down at some point, organize them into a longer treatise, and sort of put it together, and there you are.
Yeah. I think my book would be very, very short because I don't think I'm very interesting. So
I find that highly suspicious.
Well, you know, it's interesting you say that because you know, I don't look at what I do as different than anybody else with any other job. Yeah, I realize to a certain degree it's in the public eye, but I never looked at myself that way. I just, you know, I get about my business every day like everybody else. I go to the same stores. I do the same stuff, subject to the same ills and what have you. And I just, I don't look at myself as unique in any way, you know, and that's me.
Well, you know, I think of myself as having been very fortunate. I mean, I come from a large family, and I have a large family, and fortunately, we were able to, you know, take advantage of great school systems, and you know, my kids were sufficiently competent that they got pretty decent scholarships and went to good colleges.
Wow, good.
And you know, I think among the bunch of them, they have something like I don't know, 20 or 21 college degrees of various
wow.
sorts.
How many kids did you have?
And you know, now I'm at an age where, you know, the grandchildren are graduating from college and going off to their things and so forth.
Well, here's the other side of that story. If I wrote a book, I would have no one to pass the bad stuff on to because I was an only child.
oh, well, it's interesting. You know, my wife was an only child and absolutely hated it. And so after we got married, I think we just got on having children.
Well, what's funny is I didn't hate it growing up. I loved it. I mean, let's face it, I was the center of attention in the house. That had its drawbacks too, but I had a lot of friends, so I didn't miss siblings. Only when I grew up and got older did I start missing the fact that I didn't have siblings. And when I married my late wife, she had 5 other sisters and brothers, so they became my family and still are. And I'll remain in contact with them and visit them. So it kind of like it filled that gap, if you will.
Well, I have 24 grandchildren, and
wow.
You know, during the pandemic, we did get together as regularly, but ordinarily we'd get together the whole clan. 8 of my children are back in Michigan now. I only have 1 out of state currently. But the thing was, you know, we'd get together every month or so and just have a party, and even if it was just to celebrate the birthdays of the kids, you know, or other activities, you know, wedding anniversaries and all of this sort of thing. And you know, fortunate my Greeter family has been very consistent. They're all together with their original spouses. And,
wow.
You know, we have just been very fortunate, and you know, but it's interesting that that was the ones that have written about the family. And the other thing that a couple of them got into was, you know, tracing the history, you know, of the family and so forth. And
I haven't done that either, and that does interest me, and that's something I may do. I did the 23andMe thing because it was given to me for one Christmas a couple of years ago, but it only told me about me. So I don't know. I haven't decided yet how far I want to go with it, but I may actually go further with that one of these days. So, all right.
Well, my wife was a writer and an artist, and so I have a lot of her stuff. She's been gone now about 10 years.
Yeah. All right. Well, Joe, listen, I appreciate the thoughts, and as always, appreciate the call.
But like I say, if you can put the pieces,
yep,
get the pieces down, and then gather them all up, and then it's just a matter of editing, and
make it sound so simple.
Yep. Well, good luck, sir.
Thanks,
Have a
Joe.
happy Easter.
You too. Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye now. All right, that opens the lines for you. 989-752-6111. It's true, though. I have never been fond of writing. It's just not part of me, and I do it when I have to do it. But I'll give you a perfect example. When I was asked to do the toast to the office of the president for the Saginaw Club this year, I did not write a speech. As I told the group, I'm a conversationalist. We'll just talk. And I jotted down the topics I wanted to talk about, and then everything else was off the top. So much so that after I was done, the club had to get somebody transcribe it so they could have a hard copy of the speech. It's just one of those things. We all have our likes and dislikes, and that one's one of mine. All right, let's see if we can give away some money. Time to play WSGW's Baseball Bucks, presented by Westside Decorating Center. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering this baseball word online at WSGW.com. The word this hour is American, as in American League, American, American. It's an Alpha Media company-wide contest. Must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Baseball Bucks, presented by Westside Decorating Center, here on WSGW.
Mark your calendars for Our Kids World, Saturday, April 8th at the Fashion Square Mall from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. Sponsored by Francis Ray Academy and powered by Sarah Automotive. Free admission, Easter egg hunt, pictures with the Easter Bunny brought to you by the Exchange Clubs of Saginaw, and so much more. Plus, bounce out that energy in the kids zone with bounce houses provided by Bouncing Bellas. If your business would like to be involved, call 989-752-3456. Our Kids World, Saturday, April 8th, 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. at Fashion Square Mall. Sponsored by Francis Ray Academy.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks open mixed. Investors are looking at weaker job growth from private employers than forecast in March. ADP says 145,000 new positions were created last month, another sign the job market is holding up but may be softening. Johnson & Johnson shares are rallying after J&J offered to pay nearly $9 billion to settle lawsuits that accuse the company's talc products of causing cancer. FedEx will merge its express and ground delivery businesses in response to demand for e-commerce shipping. ConAgra shares are rallying. The company that makes Slim Jims, Ready Whip, and other brands reported an upbeat quarter and is raising its forecast for the current quarter. It's being helped by demand from food service and also sales of frozen foods. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Democrats just want to win the next election, and they're trying to do it with ceaseless money printing. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. It is critical to protect your retirement right now with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all. Text the word SHELTER to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold.
Paid for by Birch Gold Group.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The WSW Online poll for you is about American values with that recent Wall Street Journal NOC survey, comparing responses from 25 years ago, finding when it comes to the questions of patriotism, religion, and raising children, the responses percentage-wise are down compared to 25 years ago. Patriotism, 25 years ago, 70% very important, now 38%. The importance of religion, 62% then, 39% now. And raising children, 59% then, now it's 30%.
Well, those are some significant drops there.
By contrast, having money was the only value that was up from 25 years ago. So the WSW poll question for you, what is your view regarding American values of patriotism, religion, and raising children? You can vote, I think these values are very important. I don't think these values are very important. You can vote, you think that the having money value is more important, or you're not sure. You head to WSW.com, you scroll down the homepage, you will find a poll box, and you can make your vote that way with WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show. And we have open phones for you, whatever you'd like to chat about. Give us a call. Yesterday, of course, was a big day in history because for the first time in history, a former president was literally arrested and arraigned on criminal charges in New York City. I said yesterday that I did not plan to watch any of it. And for the most part, I didn't. I did happen to catch a few minutes of it. And what I saw was pictures of a hallway and watching security stand around. And I'm going, I don't think I'm going to hang around for this one. I did not hear the president's remarks last night, although I did hear news reports of them. It's going to be interesting to see what comes not only of the trial, but of the judge's reaction to President Trump's remarks last night. Remember, I said, I think I said it yesterday, that if I were his legal counsel, and I'm certainly not a lawyer and I don't play one on radio, but if I were his legal counsel, I would tell him to shut his mouth and just, particularly since this is viewed as the weakest possible case against him, why upset the apple cart? But that's Donald Trump. That's who he is. And he doesn't change. It'll be interesting to see if the judge reconsiders a gag order or not. So we'll have to wait and see what happens? It's history in the making. No former president has ever been arrested and charged. It definitely, I watched the difference in coverage. It's stark, unbelievable. I tuned in CNN for a couple of minutes, tuned in Fox for a couple of minutes. It was interesting. When I did it, it was before Trump went into the courtroom, but after he had arrived at the building. And CNN was on nonstop coverage. The indictment of President Trump. Fox, when I turned over, was doing weather like it didn't exist. They did do coverage of it later on, from what I understand, but when I tuned in, they didn't even mention it. So anyway, time will tell what happens, but it's wading into the unknown, as they say. Terry is in Bay City. Let's talk to Terry this morning.
Yeah, I wonder what your opinion is on Trump's team releasing pictures of the judge's daughter to the media.
Listen, it goes back to what I just said about Trump. I would have told him to shut his mouth. First of all, his daughter's not involved in this. Whether she likes Trump or doesn't like Trump doesn't matter. She has no say.
I know it's just kind of putting somebody else in danger over this here. Is ridiculous.
That's why I would have said to him, "Shut up." I don't see the point. Listen, I've known about Donald Trump all my life. I'm a New Yorker, and his stripes don't change. It's who he is. It's what he's going to do. You can count on it. He almost enjoys stirring the water to some degree. And I think what's going to happen is if he pushes this judge too far, the judge will initially put a gag order on him. And if he violates that gag order, anything could go. I mean, it's the judge was, pretty lenient on him yesterday. They didn't do anything to restrict his travel or anything else. So I just shake my head at some of the things he does once in a while. I mean, I separate this. There's Donald Trump, the politician, and his policies, which in many ways I favored because I thought they were good for the country. But there's Donald Trump, the man, who I don't have much use for, and I've said that all along. I've not changed that opinion at all. So, but as far as his team releasing pictures of the daughter, what purpose did that serve? None.
Have a good day.
All right. Thanks, Terry. Bye-bye now. Yeah, I just, Donald Trump, he's a button pusher. He likes to push people's buttons to see what kind of response he can get. But he better come to the realization this is not one of his games. There could be serious consequences here. It's one thing in politics to say these things and run for political office, and the public decides or doesn't decide to put you in office. It's another thing to face legal jeopardy. And whether he likes it or not, whether we like it or not, whether we don't like this DA, whether we do like this DA, makes no difference. The fact is, he's in legal jeopardy. And the consequences could be severe. And I'm really quite surprised that his legal team would even participate in it, knowing the consequences. But again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't play one on the radio. I'm only the son of a lawyer. That gives me no qualifications. None whatsoever. Not a bit. We'll take a quick break, come back, and we will get to more calls here on WSGW. Let me talk about Krizak's House Family Restaurant. Best place to go for your authentic home-cooked foods with a European flair at reasonable prices. If you're thinking about getting together with friends and family for lunch or dinner, or maybe special events, graduations, confirmations, weddings, showers, anniversary, Krizak's has an economical way to supply your food, or you can have your celebration right there at the restaurant. Don't forget, at a moment's notice, Krizak's can help. Give them a call at 989-894-5531. Krizak's House Family Restaurant, corner of Cass and Michigan on Bay City's south side.
It's time to celebrate. Jesus Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. I'm Pastor Eric Schmidt of Peace Lutheran Ministries, and I want to personally invite you to celebrate Easter with us on Saturday, April 8th at 6:30 p.m. at Peace Lutheran School, 3161 Mondale Road in Saginaw Township, or on Easter Sunday, April 9th at any one of our three services, 6:30, 9:30, or 11:15 a.m. at Peace Lutheran Church, 3427 Adams Avenue in Saginaw. Join us in person or online at peacesaginaw.org. From all of us at Peace, we wish you a very happy.
Said my accent and pronunciation is perfect. It's because Babbel's lessons are designed by language teachers and voiced by real native speakers. Each lesson is like living in another country for 15 minutes.
I love that there's all kinds of ways to learn. Babbel's podcast or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
You learn words and phrases you actually use in real conversations.
In 3 weeks, I was starting to speak in another language. So easy.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number?
Not me.
Nope. Oh no, he's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW. Tom Sullivan, weeknights at 7 on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you, and let's get back to our phones. Next up is Michael in West Branch. Michael, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you today?
We're well, thank you.
Great. I know it's been a few months, but I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Appreciate
You're welcome. Calling regarding former President Trump.
Okay.
Syndrome yesterday. I truly believe that should be put in medical journals, because if you look at people that oppose President Trump, you look at every metric objectively. You look at the economy, you look at energy, you look at stability around the world, you look at the border, you look at our pocketbooks. Every one of those metrics, we were doing much better. And the policies that have been put in place by the president obliterated those successful policies.
Yeah, but you have to separate the politics from the legal. I understand what you're saying, and while a lot of people, including myself to a degree, think that this whole charging system in New York was political in nature, you still have to separate it because the legal jeopardy is still there.
It certainly is.
And that's why I would tell him to shut his mouth. I mean,
I understand.
Nothing to do with his political policies. I always thought they were good.
Yes.
But he as an individual is his own worst enemy at times.
I agree with that. There's no such thing as a perfect person, no perfect candidate.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a perfect human. You're right. Absolutely.
There's another thing. I mean, you said something you'd like to see him not run either.
Well, yeah, I think this is my personal opinion.
I mean, not running. I mean, I know he's running, but I'd like to see him win.
Yeah. Well, I
why?
mean, here's the thing. He's going into the primaries, whoever his opponents are. He's going in with the strongest base of anybody. And to be honest, it's going to be difficult to overcome that base.
Yeah.
So from a standpoint today, he looks like he could win.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what tomorrow brings. And that depends also what happens in Georgia, and New York State, and all these other legal obstacles that are out there for him. He's already seen a bit of a softening of his base, although I think these New York charges have pushed people back to him as opposed to away from him. But this can only go on so long.
I agree. But here's the thing, Art. The reason I'd like to see him back in there is because no president in our history of our country has been persecuted like this man. You look at what the FBI did to this guy. You look at what has been proven, that the FBI. I'm driving through a rainstorm here.
Yeah, take it easy.
Holy mackerel! I'm getting off the road. Okay,
Yeah,
well, here's what I want to say. Art. The FBI, the first FISA warrant was obtained illegally. Klein Smith pleaded guilty to it. As a result, they got a FISA warrant on Carter Page. That opened the whole Pandora's box. They spied on his campaign. They got 3 more FISA warrants that Comey got based on the phony Russian dossier that they paid Christopher Steele for. The FBI went over to England and offered him $1 million to verify that FISA.
And he couldn't.
He couldn't. So, in 3 more FISA warrants, spying on his campaign and presidency.
See, here's the thing.
Go ahead.
All that's true, but it's ancient history and has nothing to do with his jeopardy today.
I agree with that.
And we can repeat till we're blue in the face about the FISA warrants, about the Hunter laptop, about all of that stuff. It changes nothing. And I doubt very much if it'll ever be addressed, to be honest with you.
But this is the point I want to make about it, though. No, the Democrats pushed that. You had people like Clapper, you had Comey, you had Brennan. You have these people going on news programs saying that the president was treasonous. Okay.
Yeah.
As a result, they tainted people's minds. And I bet if you did an independent poll, unscientific one of 10 people 5 of them would say that he colluded with Russia, which is total nonsense.
Yeah, well, that's true. But
my point being is that the media and the left and the Democrats, they went after this president in a way that's never been done before. I mean, you could call it a coup.
That's true. But you believe that. You got to remember, half the country doesn't.
What are you saying? Belief? I mean, those are facts as far as what they did.
Yes, that's true. But remember that half the country discounts it. They don't care.
I mean, they don't care. Yeah, okay, but you're right. They don't believe it. They think it's hearsay. They think it's
you're not going to change their minds.
I agree with that. But that's why I'd like to see him get. One last thing. Here's what I think about when I think about President Trump. You remember the movie Papillon?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember the last scene where is it Steve McQueen? He jumps off. He jumps off the cliff with a raft he's thrown out there, and he's floating. He says, "You remember what he said?"
No.
He said, "I'm still here, you bastards." Okay, that's where I'd like to see President Trump get back in there to say it.
All right. Good enough.
All those that crucified him.
Gotcha.
He can say the same thing.
Gotcha.
Thanks, Art.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Now we'll take a break. Come back. We'll get to Greg and Reese when we return.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to three key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
If you own a small business, you've probably been hearing a lot about the ERC, how it's worth up to $26,000 per employee, how easy it is, you know the spiel. So why am I still talking to you about it now? Because many of you still haven't filed a claim, but Innovation Refunds can help you close the book on this thing. They're backed by one of those big CPA firms the corporations use, so they can determine once and for all if your business qualifies. And it's free to find out. Go to innovationrefunds.com. That's innovationrefunds.com.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
My spaniel Sailor arrives each afternoon for his walk in the steep woods. And usually in the spring, we return with plenty of tales of spotted white-tailed deer and a stream-soaked coat of wet hair. Eden Pure Thunderstorm's air purifier that uses proven Oxy technology to the rescue. I plug the compact unit into the wall and let Sailor relax in the freshening air. And the unit comes with a 6-foot USB cord for when we travel. There are over 300,000 units already sold. There are no filters to buy over and over again. Right now, you can save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection. You get 3 units for under $200 for the kitchen, the basement, the fireplace room, the mudroom, anywhere you need clean-smelling air. Go to EdenPureDeals.com and put in discount code JOHN, J-O-H-N, to save $200. That's EdenPureDeals.com, discount code JOHN. Shipping is free.
It's Mark Lave and Camp and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. One update on our weather statements for Shiawassee County. They are under a thunderstorm warning until 11:15, and we continue to be under the tornado watch until 4 o'clock. Greg is in Reese. Greg, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
Here we go again. We have a smoke screen going. Nobody's talking about China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, Cuba, all aligning together, and U.S. dollar not being the favorite of the world anymore.
Oh, whoa. No. Don't say that, because that's not true. The U.S. dollar is still the favorite of the world, except for the countries you mentioned, China particularly. But right now, it is still the world currency.
Well, it's getting there. That'll be our next step.
That's possible, but right now, anyway, it is still the basis of the world economy.
That's like our so-called tree huggers. We have no uranium mining in this country. We have no minerals to support all our electric vehicles in this country to speak of. We're importing all this from China and Russia
and
wherever else. And when they get all aligned and get control, we're basically done.
Well, I mean, that possibility certainly exists, but it's going to take a long time, and I suspect we will have change in regimes before that happens, one way or another, whether it's Trump or anybody else. I do suspect that we will at some point have change in regime and change in attitude.
I hope we wake up pre-football.
Me too. I'm with you there.
Just then there's talk of pulling all the currency out of this country and everybody have a crypto pad or something.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, I don't think. Again, that's a guess on my part.
Yeah.
I think crypto is too volatile for that to happen.
Well, what's to say the government don't pull all the money off?
Nah, I don't think so.
And give you a little thing, and they can say, "Well, you can buy this, but you can't buy that."
I don't think that's going to happen. That's listen. There's a lot of speculation on these things, and I understand that. And yeah, we should keep our eye open and be aware. But I kind of look at things in a realistic view, and realistically, I don't see that happening. That's me, though.
Yeah,
so I understand what you're saying.
Within 6 months, China will be helping Russia out. That's my prediction.
That one, maybe. Yeah, I can live with that. I can understand that, I should say. All right.
Well, they have the right, though.
Yeah, they
we
do.
Got the right to support Ukraine.
Yep. Absolutely.
They got the right to support Russia.
Yep, that's true.
But they'll blow it all up and say, "Oh, this is a world catastrophe."
Yeah. All right. Good enough, Greg. Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Yep.
All right, we got Russ in Bay City, and then we'll get to Cynthia. Russ, good morning.
Good morning, Art. It's unfortunate, and I sure wish it were different. But what happened yesterday, just as far as I'm concerned, further validates my inability to trust any aspect of our government anymore, especially our legal system. And your first guest, kind of backed that up. That they can't even be held accountable for anything.
Well, that's always been the case. I mean, that's not new.
And it's just, but they abuse it now. They abuse it to no end, and it's we're at the end. This is the fall of the Roman Empire.
I'm not that pessimistic.
I know you're not, and I wish I wasn't.
And here's the thing: they don't abuse it; they use it because it's there. What we need to do as a society is figure out how to change it.
Wow, when they're the ones that have to change it, they're not going to change it.
Well, we could,
themselves.
How about a petition drive in Michigan, for example? Could you think that would happen? It's possible. It's conceivable that it could happen. In which case,
anything's possible.
Well, exactly.
Is it likely? No.
Well, it's only likely if somebody takes the bullet and runs with it. So.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I wish it were different, but I haven't seen any evidence whatsoever, none whatsoever, to give me any optimistic viewpoint on the matter.
All right, fair enough.
I wish there were.
Yeah. Good enough.
All right. You have a great day.
You too. Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Talk to Cynthia in Midland. Cynthia, good morning.
Hi, Art.
Hi.
Just wanted to give a shout out to the businesses on Midland Street in Bay City that are doing collections for the fire and the residents that lived above Mode's Tavern.
Yeah, how about that for us?
So just to maybe make people aware, there's several of the bars have on their Facebook what they're collecting, including money. But I just wanted to give a shout out because that's a historic area for us and a deep loss for the community.
Glad you did.
I'm contributing, and I just thought I'd give a shout out for others to do the same.
Excellent. Glad you did.
Thank you, Art.
Thanks.
Have a good day.
You too, Cynthia. Bye-bye. For those who were unaware, there was a fire on the Midland Street area in Bay City. Mode's was destroyed, as well as a couple of businesses in that building and some apartments. And what Cynthia was referring to is an attempt to raise some funds for those folks. Building will have to be taken down, demolished because of the damage. Whether something will go up there or whether they will rebuild there is yet to be seen. But not a good day for Midland Street, that's for sure. So if you can do something to help, it would be greatly appreciated. It's a great area. Business has been there a long time, and they could use the support. All right. That's going to do it for calls. We are quickly running out of time, so we will take our last break, and then we'll be back to close out.
I'm Rocky Roselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
Join the Great Lakes Bay Economic Club on Monday, April 10th in the banquet rooms at SVSU for discussion on the Detroit Red Wings business and hockey operations. Come listen to the Red Wings VP of Finance, Paul McDonald, and Director of Amateur Scouting and Detroit Red Wings four-time Stanley Cup champion, Chris Draper, talk about the behind-the-scenes workings of what makes the Red Wings a leader in the business of the NHL. Doors open at 11:45 a.m. with programs starting at 12:15 p.m. This is a members-only event, but for a short time, you can become a member for April and May. For the price of $75, get access to this luncheon as well as May's luncheon and network with some of the region's most involved business leaders. Visit www.glbec.org for more info. That's glbec.org.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the midden.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
The Ramsey Show, weeknights at 10 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Art Lewis Show. We'll be back tomorrow with lots more for you, of course, here on WSGW. Thanks for being with us. Coming up, we have a lot of news for you. The news from CBS takes a look at the world and the nation, brings you up to date on everything happening. Michael Perch is in the WSGW newsroom, and he will bring you up to date on the Great Lakes Bay region and the state of Michigan. And then we'll be back with Focus. We're going to talk to Kerry Gustafson, our sales manager, about Our Kids World. That's coming up soon.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Steve Kathan. Former President Trump testing the judge who heard the not guilty plea at his arraignment yesterday and targeting his family.
I have a Trump-hating judge with a Trump-hating wife and family whose daughter worked for Kamala Harris.
Trump was warned against making inflammatory comments. Correspondent John Dickerson spoke with Trump attorney Joe Tacopina on CBS Mornings.
Statement of fact. A statement of fact based on the Daily Mail's reporting and others reporting that the judge's family members work for Kamala Harris.
But it's a fact that it's a Trump-hating judge?
It's a fact. It's an opinion of someone who's been put through a political persecution, John. It's not a fact. It's an opinion of someone who has the right to feel aggrieved.
A federal court has ordered Stormy Daniels, a key figure in the hush money case, to pay an additional $122,000 for Trump legal fees in her failed defamation suit against him. Political shift in North Carolina. Republicans now have enough votes to override vetoes from the Democratic governor, now that Representative Tricia Cotham has joined the GOP.
The party that best represents me and my principles and what's best for North Carolina is the Republican Party.
Rough weather's in the forecast today for parts of the nation's midsection. CBS News meteorologist David Parkinson.
A new tornado watch in effect until 4 p.m. For portions of Indiana and Michigan. That is the area we are watching for potential tornadoes, including in Detroit, Indianapolis, and then eventually the storm will continue to push east into portions of Ohio. So you could be seeing that tornado threat in a place like Toledo or Cleveland.
Overseas, CBS's Charlie D'Agata has more on violence at one of the holiest spots in the Middle East.
Cell phone footage appears to show Israeli riot police pummeling worshippers with batons, firing stun grenades and rubber bullets after storming the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Israeli police say they launched the pre-dawn raid after what they called agitators barricaded themselves inside. They attacked us in there, one worshiper shouts. All the young people inside are suffering and no one is helping them.
Well, CBS's Nicole Killian with more on House Speaker McCarthy's meeting today with Taiwan's president in California.
This is about continuing to express solidarity and support with Taiwan. And so certainly a number of topics expected to likely come up during this meeting, but mostly around issues of democracy and security.
And checking Wall Street right now, the Dow is down 7 points. The NASDAQ is down 176. The S&P down 25. This is CBS News.
Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com, STIHLUSA.com.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a RoofMax shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money, guaranteed with RoofMax, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
Dazzling decal on Daisy's Donuts window. Bold banner at Barry's Barbershop. Prominent poster at Penny's on Park Place.
This is your sign. Well, signs. To try Staples and see the difference. Get $15 off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more.
From Staples, and I couldn't miss it.
Ends 4/15. Visit staplesconnect.com/printbig for details.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies, rain, a little bit of thunder, and 61 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. As the threat of severe weather looms across lower Michigan today, the Michigan State Police Emergency Management and Homeland Security Division is encouraging residents and visitors to stay aware of local forecasts and be prepared to act quickly if storm warnings are issued. According to the National Weather Service, all severe weather threats are in play, which could include large hail and strong tornadoes. An enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms is also in place. To prepare for severe weather, identify the lowest place to take shelter in your home. If a basement doesn't exist, find an interior hallway away from windows, doors, and outside walls. Prepare for power outages by filling plastic containers with water and placing them in the refrigerator or freezer. Cold water bottles help keep food cool during a power outage and can be used for drinking water. Make sure cell phones and other mobile devices are charged, and you can sign up to receive texts or email alerts from your local news media or emergency management agency. Quick traffic note to pass along to you. Just coming in, an accident on southbound I-75 near Beaver Road in Bay County. At the 168-mile marker, a semi is partially blocking the road. Please use caution. Police and rescue are on the scene. Again, that is southbound I-75 near Beaver Road, a semi blocking the road. Use caution driving through that area. Fire officials in Bay City are investigating the cause of a fire which damaged two businesses in the city's Midland Street Business District yesterday. Crews from multiple departments, including as far away as Midland, were dispatched to 108 North Lynn Street, the site of Mode's Tavern, after receiving a 911 call from an employee who saw smoke coming from the back of the building. Firefighters arrived to find the rear of the building fully engulfed in flames. A short while later, the structure collapsed from the damage. Tenants in the second-story apartments of the business and all firefighters were safely evacuated. No injuries were reported. Firefighters were able to contain the fire by 1 p.m. Neighboring business JR's All-Star Haircuts was also damaged by smoke and water. A 39-year-old man is in critical condition at a Flint hospital after a shooting on Saturday. Police responded to the 3400 block of Mason Street in Flint around 2 a.m., where they found the man suffering from gunshot wounds outside a residence. No suspect information is available at this time. Police are asking anyone with information about the incident to call the Flint Police Department or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-422-JAIL. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
We now call to order the meeting of extraordinary heroes. Thunderfoot, here. Mega Maiden,
let's go.
Wheat Farmer.
Yeah. What am I doing here?
You defeated Evil Dawn and saved your crop quality.
Well, yeah, I used Sphere X fungicide on my wheat and barley.
Keep your secrets, man.
No secret, just best-in-class Dawn reduction.
So modest, a mighty hero indeed.
Be a hero with Sphere X fungicide from BASF.
Always read and follow label directions.
Mark your calendars for Our Kids World, Saturday, April 8th at the Fashion Square Mall from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. Sponsored by Francis Ray Academy and powered by Sarah Automotive. Free admission, Easter egg hunt, pictures with the Easter Bunny brought to you by the Exchange Clubs of Saginaw, and so much more. Plus, bounce out that energy in the Kids Zone with bounce houses provided by Bouncing Bellas. If your business would like to be involved, call 989-752-3456. Our Kids World, Saturday, April 8th, 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. at Fashion Square Mall. Sponsored by Francis Ray Academy.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. A Detroit man will spend 2 years in prison for buying a gun used to kill a police officer. 27-year-old Sheldon Thomas was sentenced yesterday after admitting to lying to federal agents and falsifying documents about the Draco pistol he bought at an East Point gun store. Federal agents say Thomas gave the gun to his friend Amani Davis, who then used the gun to shoot and kill Detroit police officer Lauren Courts last July. Simple mistakes can turn into big problems when filing your tax return. Here's business editor Murray Feldman.
If you misspell your name, maybe a typo on an online tax return, or you leave a digit off your social security number, the IRS may reject your income tax return. But when that happens, the agency will tell you right away so that you can make it right. Keep in mind, if somebody in your household doesn't have a social security number, you can list an individual tax identification number. It's commonly called ITIN. If that tax identification number, though, has expired, some tax professionals say use it anyway so the return is processed on time. However, if any tax breaks are included in that return, the IRS may hold them up until a proper tax ID number is obtained. Murray Feldman, Michigan News Network.
Macomb County leaders are praising a court decision that's expected to save more than $12 million. The Michigan Supreme Court will not take up a case involving the city of Highland Park and its unpaid water and sewer bill. The Great Lakes Water Authority filed a lawsuit against the city seeking $24 million. As the case played out in courts, Macomb and other counties and cities had to pay higher water and sewer rates to offset the debt. Macomb County leaders say the state needs to step in and help Highland Park with those payments. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms here for today with cloudy sky conditions and a high into the mid-70s. Breezy southwest winds around 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting as high as 35. Then for tonight, a chance for showers and storms early on, decreasing clouds and a low near 36. Thursday, mostly sunny and breezy, high of 50 degrees. Then by Friday, mostly sunny and a high of 49. Saturday, plenty of blue skies and sun, high around 52. Sunday, sunshine and a high of 63. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with